What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Jake Shavink here, and today we're going to tackle the hot topic of the week among Packers fans, and that's Sean Rhyan, right? He got in the game for 15 snaps against the Rams, 7 at right guard, 8 at left guard, and we're going to dive into the film room and kind of look at whether or not maybe Sean Rhyan should be the starter at right guard going forward, and if he can help fix the problems along the interior offensive line. So off to the film room. Let's take a look at Sean Rhyan's snaps against the Rams. All right, guys, so we're going to the film room, taking a look at Sean Rhyan's snaps against the Rams. Had 15 total in the game. We're just going to look at 12 of them. We're not concerned with a tush push or 2 kneel downs. But obviously the stuff at right guard I think is the most important. That was when the game was still a contest and wasn't out of hand. So that's where the main focus is going to be. So here it's 3-man rush. So there's not a whole lot to glean from in terms of pass protection skills. I do like how good of a knee bender he was into his set, but his hands are still wide, and you're going to see that be a theme a lot here, I think, in this video, in this film room, right? But what I do like is the awareness. I like him peering back to the inside to see if there's anyone, working into this gap to potentially that he has to pick up in terms of an assignment. So plus there for awareness, but other than that, I'm not really, too impressed, and I don't think anybody should be for a 5-man offensive line handling 3 guys in pass pro. Here, though, is where we get to the good stuff, right? This is a double team on the defensive tackle here, and what they do a good job of is driving him out of this play, and I think Rhyan has a lot to do with that. I think Tom is a good job holding the point, and they have Rhyan on really cleanup duty, right? Just make him exit the play entirely. I think that's a great job there. You don't see a lot of guards in Green Bay with that type of power and that type of displacement skill. So big fan of that one there for Sean Rhyan. Here, it's a one-on-one. Now, I don't know if they're asking him to completely drive him out of the play, if that's the assignment, or if the assignment's just, okay, don't get beat, hold the point of attack, generate a little ground if you can, let this double team, this combo block do the work for Dylan. I think this is pretty solid. Right, and again, the hands are a little bit wide, but he does cut this off where the defender cannot sort of steal the gap and work back to Dylan. So we'll take that. We'll take that solid win there for Rhyan in terms of run blocking. Here, though, ideally, what you'd like to see is Rhyan on this combo block climb and get the linebacker here. He doesn't quite do that. However, they have done enough work, I think, on this play where the linebacker is trying to chase and get into this gap, where they've kind of closed off enough on the front side of this play to hopefully give Aaron Jones a cutback lane. Now, Josh Myers didn't exactly win against rookie Kobe Turner here, so I'm not going to chalk this up as a real negative play necessarily for Sean Rhyan, but I don't think he helped a ton on this one either, so maybe more of a net neutral for that one. Here, though, I really like this. He's one-on-one with Kobe Turner, who just, basically blew up a run play. Again, the hands are a little wide, but you see him drive Kobe Turner initially out of this play. That power, that displacement skill. Look at this giant lane that has been now created for Aaron Jones here. A lot of that goes to Sean Rhyan in getting rid of Kobe Turner, displacing him, getting him out of the play. It's a nice little counter there, but it's too late. This is a positive gain for Aaron Jones, and a lot of that has to do with Sean Rhyan there. So here, this is it, right? This is the taking on Aaron Donald for 2 snaps. And I don't think this is necessarily a win for Rhyan. I think you can debate it. Again, the hands are a little wide. They're a little high here as well on the shoulder pads. I think what really did this run justice in terms of generating a little success was Jenkins on the reach block and then Josh Myers getting to the second level. I think those two did a good job because here, again, Ryan's not in great position. Donald has basically pushed him back. He's got this gap. He's sitting and leveraging well in this gap, and we know the type of quicks and power he has that he can snap in to another gap to steal it. But Rhyan does have a good enough grip strength that keeps Donald a little bit out of this play. Jones can get skinny just enough because of Jenkins and Myers on this play. So not quite a win. But again, Donald's not an easy assignment at the point of attack. So Rhyan did maybe just enough if you want to take the more positive swing of things for that run to be successful. Here, a little bit out of position at contact, and here very out of position at contact, right? Head dipping down. But again, I'll highlight the ability to fight and recover. He is, again, got those hands wide and high. This is where you get some of the holding calls where you're grabbing some shoulder pads. Don't love that, right? This is still the backside of the play where Jones is working to the left side of the offensive line on this one. So hard to say, but again, the body positioning against Donald wasn't the best there. Now we're into the stuff at left guard later in the game where you don't have necessarily every starter in, right? But Jordan Love's still in. Most of the offensive line's still here. So we'll take some looks here. I think, once again, there's a little bit of displacement generated, but again, this is not the best position to be in where your left shoulder's dipped. This is where guys can toss you onto the ground a little bit. It does recover pretty well, and you can see that power even with, maybe playing a little high at contact. He does a decent job of generating some displacement there. Here, this is clearly a combo into Walker supposedly trying to get, I think, to this linebacker. I'm pretty sure that's what the call is on this one. So a little bit of leverage lost here. Didn't quite get to his guy. You see him dip there. Probably not a win for Ryan there. But again, I at left guard, if he's been working at right guard for most of his time, and that's where he knew he was going to go in, this might be a little bit of an adjustment and take some time for him. This is pass protection on third down. Love where we're at. Hands are in tight. You can see the knee bend is really good into this pass set. But the hands are still wide, and that's just not ideal. He was in a great position to punch with his hands inside, but he's still doing kind of what you see in a lot of young players entering the league, where he's just kind of catching guys at contact with his hands, and that can get you, again, look at that, grabbing the shoulder pad. That can get you in some penalty situations there. Luckily not called, but it's just something you have to monitor when you're watching him. This is really good, though. I like this. This is a combo right into a climb for Ryan. Does a good job here, right? Just kind of bumping, and you see some centers do this a lot, and really some talented players do this, where it's bump to kind of get Walker into a great position to have leverage, which he does, and then it's climb to the linebacker. Does a good job there, but you kind of, if you just noticed it, you saw him kind of bear hug the linebacker. But this is enough where you've kind of sealed off the second level a bit, and you've given Wilson some options. A little bit of a whiff here, but you get Sean Rhyan did his job on this run. Didn't really sustain the block, but he got there. He got to the right landmark, which is really good. Here, luckily the run isn't going to the side. Wilson's sort of pressing the line of scrimmage and then bouncing out. I do think Ryan, again, not in a great position at contact. Definitely lost the leverage battle here. This is a good win for the D tackle, sitting and leveraging his gap. He's got it. So not a great one there to finish out for Ryan, but it might have been an adjustment moving to left guard. So what do we see with Sean Rhyan in his first snaps of the season, right, in a meaningful role? I think you see some good things, right? You see the power and displacement skills, a run blocker, which is much needed for this offense. I think it brings an element to the offense where you can see, okay, he can do these kind of things in zone blocking, but I think that power, right, is essential for some gap runs down the line as well. In pass pro, I think you're going to get the best version of him. The one concern I have right now is positioning at contact a little bit in terms of where his shoulders are dipping or not, and then of course his hands, they're just too wide right now to be supremely effective in both phases, but he's doing a pretty good job. So overall, would I start Sean Rhyan? I'm a little bit still on the fence, right? I think there's going to be some growing pains. However, at some point, the Packers are going to have to get Ryan out there just to see what they have, right? John Runyon probably not coming back. We'll see if they extend him. But you got to see what you have along this interior offensive line. And Ryan has at least shown some promise in terms of being multifaceted with how you can scheme up your runs, to the point where I would like to see more and maybe throw him out there to start at some point. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video on Sean Rhyan. If you did, throw a like and there, subscribe if you're new. Plenty more content coming soon. I will catch you guys in the next video. Farewell.